Being ready for the altcoin bull market is what my job is. It's March 27th, 2020, and here we have the Bull Market Watch Diversified Binance High Cap Portfolio Open Positions. This is a portfolio of about 50 coins. It says 38 here, but there are more added to it. About 50 of the top market cap coins on Binance. And so we created filter pages that show you day by day which are the coins in hold status, and we can visually see how the portfolio expands and contracts based on where the coins are passing the 12-hour exponential moving average. There's August, here's September, and you can see I numbered them up here: 1 2 3 4 5 10 markets that we were holding, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 markets, 70 markets, 80 markets that we were holding there on October the 9th. And then everything started to pull back. So we were back down to 60 markets, 50 markets, 40 markets. As the days went along here, October 18th, 19th, 20th, here we're down to just under 30 markets that we're holding. And then the next day it drops down to under 20 markets. Then the next day it drops down to under 6 markets, really. Then it goes back up again, and we start to see things picking back up. We start getting a bit more bullish, and into the middle of November we had a bit of a run. We were up to 70 markets that we were holding. December, January, we were right down to almost holding nothing as a hold status coin. We were right down there. Beginning of January, things started to pick up a little bit, and this is when our first early movers that we were able to get into a hold stance with Dash and with BC Bitcoin, Lend, BCH, all of these early movers that did some significant moves in January and February, we caught them here. And then we can see through January and February how that portfolio expanded and expanded and expanded, so that we were holding 130 markets at the peak of that bullish wave right there. And then, of course, everything pulled back quickly February 27th. We had a little bit more of a run there in March. Things were almost holding themselves. And then coronavirus hit, and boom, we're down. We hit the crash levels now, and we're bouncing up off of those levels. So from March the 27th, we can see which coins are in hold status right now on Binance. And as the days go along now, we'll see them expanding or contracting, and we'll know, because we're going to see that happen automatically for us in our Zignaly profile. So as we're reviewing these stats, we'll see that we are holding 3 different coins right now, but that's definitely going to expand out and contract as the bull markets move along or not. If I look at Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that just in the past 24 hours, not a big window to get too excited about, but any change I want to document and follow along with. Bitcoin dominance has been slipping off and changing as away from Bitcoin price move action right after this big sort of heart attack motion here in the stats. Something big happened right at that point when we hit this double top. And so now what I'm doing is, in this video, is I want to go through our automated bot, and I want to look at where a signal might come into any of these markets. I'm just going to scan through them quickly and take a look at the charts. Basically, we're at bottom formations in all of these charts. If I go to a long-term formation, it is upside down to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance hit the top formation here. We're retesting that top. Many coins are retesting that. Those that have failed, I don't think they're a very strong project, but they're making new lows. We'll watch them. And those that are showing some strength off of this level and held above the support and resistance from the past and are now making a 1, 2, 3, those are really interesting projects to me, just as a basic filter. But what I want to do now is go into the 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to just pan through these coins to see where we can be expecting a green bar coming soon. When the green line crosses over the red line, that'll give us a trade signal for our bot. And our bot will purchase 1/2 of 1%, or whatever you set in your portfolio over on Zignaly. It'll fire that signal for us. So I'm watching these 1, 2, 3 formations and observing the difference between what would be a pro alert status. This kind of entry right off of this bottom as we're squeezing, this would be a pro alert entry. And we would look for risk to reward ratios, something along the lines like this, where our entry and our exit would be in this type of setup. And our first start of our position would be right here, right close, and we would get a very small little bit of our position, and we'd look to add on to it sometime later after it's established itself. But this is the pro alert strategy, and how it's different than the bot and how it's different than the bull market watch. AGI is also coming to where the bot will cross over into that soon. We've got the downtrend. We've got the double bottom here. It's like a 1, 2, 3. It's making a triangle formation. It's consolidating. It's looking good. Like many of these alts are setting up pretty nice bottom formations. If we're just looking at the technical levels, then my eye goes across to where's the bottom and how does that support look in the past? How are we doing compared to that support in the past? So a 1, 2, 3 off of this level is going to look good. Algo is not quite as far along. AMB has still got some time to go before it looks like it's going to take off. Now, ANKR is coming right up to a close to a crossover, and that'll be an alert right away. As we go into APPC, we can see this has got a little bit of time before it's going to come up enough for that 12-hour EMA to cross over. A little bit of time sideways and up for that to cross. So we can see many of the markets are holding bottoms, but we haven't seen them crossing over yet en masse. It's good that they're holding bottoms where they are, but there are only very few coins that are actually crossed that exponential moving average on the 12-hour time frame, which is our major bull signal. So as I continue through here, there's the ARN was very close to firing a signal. ARPA. So let me go see where is ARN. That is in the low cap coin portfolio. So that will fire if it takes off. AST is not as close, but this is a nice bottom formation here. Atom is double bottoming here. It's not giving the turnaround like some of these other altcoins are. As we go into band, it did a nice move up. It's consolidated, it's pulled back. It's actually giving us an exit signal here soon. So it's not setting up to be a buy signal for a while yet. It's got some momentum down. Basic attention token, it's giving some nice life signs there, but it's got a while before it gives us the buy signal. Here we have a buy signal actually recently in Bitcoin Diamond, and it's come back across the 4 hours, and it's going to cross the 12-hour EMAs too. So this would have got us in on this impulse actually because of the crossover, and the sideways action in this makes this a killer. So if these markets are going sideways and down, that's not good for the entire portfolio. And good that many of the markets are not fired yet. Here again, there's another market that really needs some time to mature. This one, it's giving some life signs, but needs some time to mature. So many of these markets are setting up nicely. I like this bottom formation, and it won't be long before that 12-hour exponential moving average crosses over in many of these coins. What is this? Bancor network token. It's hitting some bottoms here. So when it does establish, that might be something interesting. I really like the long-term chart of BQX. No idea about the project, but this 1, 2, 3 formation and that we're holding above those levels gives us a chance that this could be good structure to build a small position on, and should it turn out to be good, we could add on to it safely after we have some profit underneath us. Nothing going on here until that turns around. How about Bitcoin? Well, according to our bot, we won't be taking a position in Bitcoin until the 12-hour EMA moves and crosses over. So it's got some fighting to do long-term sideways to make that crossover. Bitcoin Gold is really noisy. Here, BitShares did a nice move, and we took profit with this bot. Now the bot would be looking for a crossover to get back in. But the bot wasn't running from here and back. So all of this stuff is just historical to show what the bot would have fired. But now, this is the time that I turned on the bot, and it's because all of the 12-hour EMAs are back below. They're not crossed positive. So long as they stay in this downtrend, then we're good. Nothing will fire. We'll just sit here and watch it go down and down and down. And when it does fire and make a bottom, all of these auto signals will fire. So let's watch how, that's what I'm doing. So I'm watching how this goes through from market to market, marking them all, taking a video of it, making commentary on it so that I see where the crossovers happened here. A lot of noise, a lot of noise, a lot of noise. And this market didn't fire those signals because the MACD indicator, you see the purple here, the MACD indicator was negative until this crossover here. So all of our entry signals were filtered out using this bot. And so even in this position here, as we're building up to this, we need that MACD to cross back to a positive position before it'll respect a signal off of this 12-hour EMA cross. That's why I'm doing these videos, so that I can map out every market and tune this whole system after we go through all this stuff and we see how it's working to get us in, get us out, get us out. Perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. And as it comes down, we'll let it do its work. Nothing good here. Same here. Much more time for this to do anything. We might have got a cross on that and a signal on this, which would be terrible. Usually it filters out the 12-hour. The 12-hour EMA filters out a spike like this, but we've gone sideways for so long, this isn't a reliable filter anymore. I don't know if I had that programmed. CT. This one was not programmed. This is one of those mid-range, mid-cap coins that I do not have programmed yet. I do have a list of them that I need to do the data entry for. And this is on that data entry list. There are, I don't know, 30 of them I still have to enter. Civic coin. Okay, it's got some time yet. Dash gave us our entry. It gave us our exit. And now it's given us our re-entry. And I hope that the trading system has done that in Zignaly. I will check my data afterwards. What else did I have up there? Data. Okay, well, this one crossed over and we would have gotten a late signal. It would have looked terrible, but because of the 4-hour EMA cross as a filter, this would have kept us in on this explosion. We would have got in late, but there would be some profit now. And you'd be able to log into your Zignaly profile and put your own stop loss above your entry, wherever it is, and say, okay, lucky on that one it didn't come back and kill us, because that's a terrible entry. Decreed, coming back, got lots of time. DGD, I don't know what's up with this. DLT, it gave us the signal. I had to go and enter mine manually because I had the bot turned on wrong with a 0 investment. So I fixed that. And now I did mine as a manual trade, which means that as soon as it gets up high enough above my entry, wherever it was, then I'll put my stop loss above that and manually nurture this trade as it goes along. Because now that I entered this manually, the system won't kick me out automatically. So any of those trades that we've missed, we have to enter them manually, and then we have to manage them manually. So nothing going on here. We have some time yet. Doge just crossed negative, so we've got some time before that crosses positive again. It's got some time. Dusk, okay, we got some interest coming in this, but you know, it's got a ways to go before that 12-hour EMA crosses. We can just sit back and wait. EDO got a little, like they're all getting some life coming into them. That's given me hope. Let's quickly continue. Here's another market that was a buy signal for the system, and I went long with the system on it. I had already gone long down here out of this 1, 2, 3, and so I was holding well. I sold out of some of the coin here because I was over positioned position size wise here into this market. It was pulling back, so I said, I'll just lighten up my position there. Took some profit. Now it's available in my pool for the rest of this trading system, so it can average out everything. Now on again, we can see that many of the coins are still on their downtrend, and we have not turned around yet. You know, I'm looking for the bottom. That's my job. I'm looking for the bottom. I'm preparing. Now that everything has come down below these 12-hour EMAs, it is time to do the preparation and get this bot ready, because that's when it should be set up, when everything is down below those 12-hour EMAs, and we can start out from a position like this. No good to get into this late, because it's late. You have to do this when it's time. Ethereum also back down to these low levels. Now the pro alerts would, I would definitely approach this differently because of the support and resistance that we're hitting at right now. I am, and I advocate to zoom into a closer time frame and pay attention to these 1, 2, 3s here, because you have a very small risk to reward ratio. That is like a very small risk range to the potential for some great reward. So you can start off with a very small trade, and by the time you get up to these levels and you wait for it, there's time to then to add on to that trade safely with your stop loss already above your average entry. So these kind of formations, when we come to technical levels and you zoom in on these little wee 1, 2, 3 formations, I advocate practicing them at least in a paper trade so that you are paying attention and learning what is the risk that you are facing when you are playing in small little ranges like that. The key for the small range is only when it's matching up with technical levels in the past. And it is difficult when we have technical level after technical level after technical level. And this is where you get caught into holding a trade that's going against you because it looks like it could reverse at every single one of these levels. And it makes sense. You can argue it all the way down, and that's what kills you. So your risk control rules have to be automatic. You just have to do them. You just have to take the loss when it is a loss and just go, that's the rule. And trade small enough. Like this system is small enough in every trade. If we're trading with 1 Bitcoin, every average trade is $30 in size. And that's so that you can trade 150 markets at $30, trading each of them at the right time, turning that $30 into 80, 90, whatever we're going to be able to do, 45, whatever. As these exponential moving averages cross over, then that's the time to do it. So now that we're below, we're all set up and we're ready to watch for it. That's what my job is. And now it's prepared for you as well. This is a USDT chart that isn't programmed. This system is for trading Bitcoin from Bitcoin to altcoin and back. It is assuming that you're going to have X Bitcoin and that this system over time is going to slowly move us in and move us out, move us in and move us out of the bull market so that we buy low, sell high. When we do get the turnaround and it actually is the bottom, we will be there to take a position and slowly get out. We will be there to take a position, and when it does, we'll be there to take our position and get out as this all sets up. That's what the whole plan is. And then you just leave the Bitcoin in there for an extended time, because look how long this takes. Once we get across, once we do find the right cross, it's going to take a long time. We're going to trend for a while. So now here's one that we crossed, and you can see this will trend for a while if we're on the trend, and some of these are starting, and this is where all of this free money that the Fed has just printed is going to finally filter its way down to stimulate the economy and to get these new technology projects off the ground and save the world by improving business and be investment vehicles for us to make money on, right? Everything else is going down. Anyway, here we are, cross up. There's this beautiful where we got the entry, we've got the first cross, we got the re-entry, first exit, re-entry, first exit, complete exit. Really nice to see. Beautiful. But anyway, we're still watching. It could go down further. All of these could go down further, like the 12-hour EMAs are negative. We're all the way down. We're looking for the bottoms, but they haven't been proven at all. We're just looking for them because we're at such key levels, and it's time to get this portfolio ready so that it's automatic. When these things do cover, we're good. We're set up. Very nice. I love it. GST, whatever. Here we're almost crossing negative here on H bar. So it made some big moves up, and now the 4-hour EMA crossed, and then the 12-hour EMA is going to cross. So if this would have given us our trade, and it didn't because of the short period of time of this chart, we would have to do this manually for these short period of time charts. When it makes the 1, 2, 3 and it's breaking off, that's the confirmation that we need. We could do this trade manually and get the same results. Here we go. This has got to go sideways for a long time before we're getting that crossover. Same with this one. Nothing going on. Here we've got an entry. This was great. We got the entry, first exit, re-entry, first exit, re-entry, first exit, complete exit right there. So this took care of a bunch of the work of making sure that we were in with all of our position. Oh, just lighten up our position a bit. Put that back on, lighten back up again, put it back on, lighten up. Okay, get out completely. And that would have been a very nice trade. Now it's pulled back enough that we can decide if we're going to get in completely again. Beautiful. Love it. Here's one that gave us an entry signal, and it's pulled back enough now that as a pro trader and having some, you could look at this and say, maybe I could watch for my own alert on this now and get into this manually, provided that we get some more juice out of this. IOST needs more juice. Got us in, got us out. Might have been a small loss on this, on the entry and the exits. IOTA, same thing here, lots of noise, but now we're pulled back into this position here. With that March 19th mega bottom, I am watching closely, and I'm very excited to have this stuff prepared. IOTX, not going to go yet. Kava, not yet. Key, not yet. KMD, still got time. Kyber Network Token, beautiful entry here. We did get here's the entry. The 4-hour EMA crossed and crossed back again. So it took care of the work right there. No work for us as traders. I love it. This is so good. And then at the top, it got us out on that 1, 2, 3 top. And I was talking about this in our forum. Now it got us out on this, and it'll get us back in. Should this 12-hour EMA, mess around and then get us back in, this system will follow back in. So beautiful. Love to see it. High fives. I just am so excited about this. Here we go with, I don't know what this one is. Lend, but called AAVE. Nice. Anyway, it's not going to give us a cross for a while yet. We seem to have crossed over the top from this move, from this trend, all the way along this trend line. That's a top formation. So maybe many of these alts are still going to continue down further from here. We got the cross over here. We got the exit signal here. Beautiful. This one wasn't giving us a signal because the MACD was negative while we were going through this process. It didn't give us signals that it did give us back here. So it did give us entry and exit signals back here. Again, that MACD filtered us out negatively, where you would, just have to be doing some additional work of scanning these markets, because that missed that one. Good to know. Here's a good one where it nailed it well. Got us out and back in, got us out, got us out. Beautiful. I'm going to change the color of this a little bit so that I can see that better. Lisk really had a skewer down there. Ouch. But really, enter, exit, and complete exit, re-enter, got us out of part of the trade, and we wouldn't have been hit by that skewer because of the way this gets us out on the 12-hour EMA exit. Our stop wouldn't have been in place there to have been wrecked by that. There's pros and cons to it. I agree. Here we go. Crossover, entry, exits all the way along until the final exit right there. Nothing to do for a while on Litecoin, even though I really believe in it and all that. Some activity going on there, but no action. Here again, we got some time sideways. This one, we've got some time. Here, bang, not much time to react to that. It took off and went. I don't know if it's going to consolidate and keep going, but this system's not going to care. It's just going to get us in with that small little bit of our entire portfolio on this one, and we'll risk it. It might come all the way back to the 4-hour EMA, But as this does break out higher, you have the option to go into your control panel and set your own stop loss above this, or even a trailing stop behind it by using that Zignaly control panel. So this is a really good helper, this bot, across almost every single coin traded on Binance. We've got about 90 out of the total coins there now. I just want to finish blasting through these to be sure that I have them videoed. Here again, we're waiting for that 12-hour EMA to cross. Beautiful. It looks beautiful, actually, but this entry was probably about here. This exit was probably about here, and this exit was probably about here. So even though the crosses happened where the prices, it looks good, the crosses are higher and all that, this was probably a losing trade. So at $35 entry, we probably made a little bit and lost a little bit. It was just an insurance policy to be sure that we are there. If this does take off and continue, we are insured that we're going to make some good profit on that with our little $35 insurance policy, right? NAS, same story here, where we got in at that price level. When that crossed, we were way down here. And then this one crossed, we were way down here. So this was a losing trade. And it would have paid you to go into this trade after it was set up and move your own stop loss up. I'll pay attention to that. I don't know if it's something I can send to the system and send an alert that the stop loss should be above those, because then it changes the whole results of the whole system if you're not giving it that room at the very beginning. So I don't know. For my own part, I'm leaving it, and I'll take that loss of 15% of my $35 or whatever on each one of these different markets. And cash, nothing going on. Nothing going on here, but I like this setup. Now again, we can see here that on the entry, this might have been a better entry just because of the timing. This might have been the exit, and I always assume the worst. This might have been the exit. So again, this might have been a break-even trade overall, but because it's automated, we didn't have to do anything, and we were ensured that we would be there if this did trend. So we're, same strategy over and over. We just leave it and let it run. Nothing going on. This moved fast, but not fast. It filtered out this quick move here, and I like that it filters that out. We'll see how that turns out as time goes on. This one gave us a signal. So it's gone sideways long enough that this move finally triggered the signal on NXS. But is this a market that is programmed? Low cap and high cap. NXS. I think not. I don't see it. I don't know where it is. Quickly. Now, here's one that's getting some big buy candles going on, and as that crosses over, it'll trigger us in. We'll see how OAX plans out. OGN we're waiting for. This should do it, except that the MACD is blue. That's not going to trigger even if that crosses over. So this would be something we'd have to pay attention to manually, simply because it doesn't have enough history for the weekly MACD to give us the trigger. And no, we just have to manually do it. Right now I don't know how to tweak the system so that works. Blue MACD, got some time before that crosses over. ONG, also blue MACD, not crossed over. ONT, now I'm getting the hang of it. The blue MACD, and we're not crossed over. Nothing going on here. OST, we are nothing going on. Nope. Okay, the blue MACD is when it does give the signal, so never mind. Continue on. Here's an entry. Here's the double exits on that after it failed. So that was a losing trade for sure. Pearl. And I don't know how it'll turn out overall, but here's again an entry and an exit and another exit. It really doesn't do well if we were to be turning on the spot in the downtrend, because it's going to try every single one of these, and there's only one that's going to work. So I hope I've turned on the spot at the right time. We'll see. POA. Poly has got the cross to the negative, so that we'll be watching this one for a while now that has crossed negative. So all the way along, all of the 12-hour EMAs are still negative. We're having potential bottom formation set up, but right now all of those are definitely not buy signals right now. And if they are, just lucky to have hit the absolute bottom. And I think that it is because of these bottoms and everything in the world market and the money pouring in, and the fact that we are going to contain this virus at the same time that spring rolls around in North America, which makes cold transmission much, much less likely. And so the numbers are going to look good, the money's going to be floating around, the markets are going to blast off, and I am happy to have this ready in place already. So RCN is one of the markets that we did get a signal in. And I think anyway, and here we are. Yeah, it's marked as going. So this one crossed over, and we'll just watch now to see what happens with the 4-hour EMA. Let's continue on. RDN is crossing positive. Not yet, not enough. This is trending. REN, and it's blue here, not purple. Purple is no, blue is yes. So when this crosses positive, we will get a signal on this. Let's go on to REP. Same thing, coming up very close. Rep is coming up very close. We got the blue signal for the MACD. It's coming up, so it should be crossing right away. And we'll get that green line, and that'll signal out to our bot, and everybody who is on this system will have that trade signaled as a market order. That means this system will have limited people to subscribe to it. Certainly, once we get enough of these markets in hold status, I'll be closing the subscription, and I won't allow people to come in after say the market has gone to a position like this, and many of the markets are already in hold status. I won't open up the I'll close the subscription so that nobody else can get in, because like, what's the point? It's all going to be just looking for the exits. There'll be no buy signals after that. So this really is a time limited thing to be prepared as things are under the 12-hour exponential moving average, and to be in before subscriptions close. Because I can't, if we're all doing market orders, look at this SkyCoin. This is one that just got triggered. And if we're all doing market orders on this, I must limit how many people are on. And you bet when those things are triggered, I'm sitting here watching the trigger happen. Here, this is setting up, but not ready yet. And so if I see the trigger happen and prices like explode, I know that we've got a whale in our group who's putting on big trades by this system. Bigger trades than the system can really handle in the market. And I'll just close subscriptions right there. So if you want to get into this and you're a low size trader, you can see what I'm doing. This isn't rocket science. It's not hard. You could do it yourself, but it is a lot of learning curve to get the bot set up properly. STX. So all of these, I'm just going through and I'm seeing that the 12-hour is not ready to cross over. We're not setting up for it yet, and that's really all I'm worried about, is how close are we on these to set up. I want to watch them as they go through the setup. I want to watch the alert trigger. I want to check my account, make sure it's working. As we cross the 4-hour EMA, I want to see, are we exiting part of the trade? Are we getting back into part of the trade? Are we, I want to follow it all the way along properly and ensure everything is working fully. And if it isn't, I want to send out a note to everybody who's a subscriber and say, hey, this didn't do the signal it should have. You got to add that manually. You need to do the 4-hour EMA exit or whatever, that the system isn't flashing. You can see in this one, it's not actually flashing the signals all the way through here because the MACD is cross negative. So it didn't fake us in. That really filtered out a lot of the crap, actually. I love it. Tomo. Not enough of a filter. It still got us in when we were going sideways. That MACD wasn't strong enough of a filter. Maybe I could touch up that filter so it's cleaner. TRX got us in, got us out, got out better than me. I was still holding. Damn. So much for my profitable trade. I'd do it again though. Now, actually, no, I fired myself. Because I should have exited on those things. So now I fired myself and I set up this entire machine because of this February incident, that things came up and I held on to some of these coins too long and it cost me money. So it was worth the time to go through and set this all up so that this kind of work is taken care of for me. That is a lot of work. Crazy. VIB. Here's another one. A lot of work. It looks so good. We got to try it. But I don't want to do the work of getting in and out all the time. So now it's automated. And you can join up and have all of this research, all these kind of videos when things are happening. It'll be more interesting. As we come out of these 1, 2, 3s, they are setting up. And there are 1, 2, 3 formation that set up over a 3-week period of time, while coincidentally Bitcoin dominance is easing off. Wrong chart. Bitcoin dominance is easing off while Bitcoin is doing this thing. I just want to pay close attention to what all of these coins are doing. Where was I? I just gotta, these are 1, 2, 3 bottoms at the end of a downtrend. I just gotta pay attention. I gotta take the risk. And if it isn't, I want it automated now so I don't have to do all the work. Waves also, looking so good. Really, absolutely. And now it's pulling back. Sad. But that takes a lot of work. to be there for this stuff. Anyway, let's continue on. There's a good coin. As we see this crossover, this will kick us in. Oh, actually, we are still into part of this. This won't give us the signal. I'll have to watch this closely. That's the kind of stuff I'm doing this for, is to catch that. WRX is to watch that closely. Here, we're out of both now in XEM. We got in and we got out of both positions, and we'll continue watching it. Really noisy on this one. Some of these coins, it would be a good idea to have them programmed to a daily instead of the 12-hour EMA cross, just because they are so noisy already. At any rate, now the bot takes care of that work. So here, this is setting up to cross. XMR is crossed on the 4-hour. Now what's next is the 12-hour cross to the positive. Really great to see it. I can't wait to watch the bot manage this. Ripple crossing. Oh, not yet. Noisy, sideways, really explosive, crazy market, but not ready yet. What is this? XTZ. Not doing what everything else is doing. XVG making this bottom. So I don't like any of them that pulled out, because these are all showing a little bit of a green candle here, which coincides with what we're seeing in Bitcoin dominance pulling back. All of these are giving us that little bit of a candle here, pulling back this way. So this is always upside down, and I have to invert this chart really to show what the alts are doing compared to this bottom formation here. So many alts are making this bottom, and they are now rising up just a little bit as Bitcoin is showing this position here. No idea what's next, but that's why I am documenting it so that we can be tracking it. Let's go back in, finish up these last few coins now. I just want to document and have a video of what's going on, where are we with all of these, so that next week, on the next few days, as we're going through and these 12-hour EMAs finally are crossing back to the positive, we can watch this whole thing unfold like an accordion being pulled apart. We can just watch everything unfold, and we really can. We see the bull market watch here. We get all of the color-coded spreadsheet here, and then at the end, we've got the totals, so we can see how many are in each different color. And then we can graph that to see how many are, how that graph changes over time, which is all fantastic, but I still needed more clarity. And so we created filter pages that show you day by day which are the coins in hold status. And we can visually see how the portfolio expands and contracts based on where the coins are passing the 12-hour exponential moving average. There's August, here's September. And you can see I numbered them up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 markets that we were holding, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 markets, 70 markets, 80 markets that we were holding there on October the 9th. And then everything started to pull back. So we were back down to 60 markets, 50 markets, 40 markets. As the days went along here, October 18th, 19th, 20th, here we're down to just under 30 markets that we're holding. And then the next day it drops down to under 20 markets. Then the next day it drops down to under 6 markets, really. Then it goes back up again, and we start to see things picking back up. We start getting a bit more bullish, and into the middle of November, we had a bit of a run. We were up to 70 markets that we were holding. December, January, we were right down to almost holding nothing as a hold status coin. We were right down there. Beginning of January, things started to pick up a little bit, and this is when our first early movers that we were able to get into a hold stance with Dash and with BC Bitcoin, Lend, BCH, all of these early movers that did some significant moves in January and February, we caught them here. And then we can see through January and February how that portfolio expanded and expanded and expanded, so that we were holding 130 markets at the peak of that bullish wave right there. And then, of course, everything pulled back quickly February 27th. We had a little bit more of a run there in March. Things were almost holding themselves, and then coronavirus hit, and boom, we're down. We hit the crash levels now, and we're bouncing up off of those levels. So from March the 27th, we can see which coins are in hold status right now on Binance. And as the days go along now, we'll see them expanding or contracting, and we'll know, because we're going to see that happen automatically for us in our Zignaly profile. So as we're reviewing these stats, we'll see that we are holding 3 different coins right now, but that's definitely going to expand out and contract as the bull markets move along or not. And there's our wrap up of everything. 40 minutes. I hope this is gold for you. I hope this really helps get prepared, because if this is the bull market, well, we've done the preparation. That's what my job is, to make sure that we're prepared. Now with this bot, we are more prepared than ever. I am super stoked, and I think you can probably pick that up from the excitement in this video. Anyway, cheers.